The DraftKings.com Fantasy Football Show. Sunday mornings 8 to 10 on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Mike Lockhart and Rich Keefe help you get your lineup set for the day on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Afternoons at 2. These guys
know how to connect with you about Boston sports.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Felger and Mazz.
Can you shut up?
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I know that we look at their offensive line, but it starts with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, ever since the second half of the Miami game, has completed 57% of his passes. He's 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions with a QB rating of 74.8. Now, at the quarterback position, hey, not all of us have blocking where we can hold the ball for 5 seconds. Tom Brady was benched. For all of you out there in the world, Tom Brady was benched. It happens to each and every quarterback in the league. Now, I know we're still holding on to the 5 Super Bowl appearances, the 3 Super Bowls. Listen, when you get older, just for all of you out there, when you get older, you can't do the things that you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He needs help. He needs help on the outside. We can compare it to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's got young wide receivers. He's got a young, talented tight end. He's got a running game. He's running his offense. But for Tom Brady, who can you say that we need to double team at the wide receiver position? Nobody. Who can you say can create separation in the passing game? Nobody. Not even Gronkowski. So in the sense that I'm talking about, basically it's saying Tom Brady was benched for his ineffective play. Garoppolo got in there and moved the ball downfield and got the ball in the end zone. If this continues on for another 5 or 6 weeks, believe the rumblings will start that this could be Tom Brady's last year in New England.
Donovan McNabb on Fox Sports 1. Has it started, Mazz? Has this thing started?
Of course it has started. Yes, they drafted Garoppolo. I told you, I think that there's been, this is earlier than I thought. Okay, earlier than I thought.
We're not even in October.
No, it's week 4. My goodness, are you kidding? There's no way I imagined they would be playing this poorly, Mike, and they'd be unable to protect Brady and all of those things. But I think it's been building towards this. Again, they drafted the kid in the second round, the highest that Belichick has ever taken a quarterback, the highest they have taken a quarterback since Bledsoe, which was now over 20 years ago. That was a long time. And, it's just the whole thing, Brady's salary going down, you add it all up. I don't want to say they started greasing the skids for him because that's too strong. But they started planning for life after Brady, and part of it is maybe that they envisioned some sort of contractual conflict over the summer, over next summer. And now it's happening earlier than anybody thought. When Garoppolo got in there last night, and I'm not saying that the game mattered at that point, but they looked better. And one of the things that I took out of it, more than anything, if there was any good to come out of that game, save for what you said about Matt Slater looking awesome on kick coverage.
He is so good.
He is. He's awesome. He is dynamite. I thought Gronkowski played angry at the end, and that's the first real time he looked angry. Like you said, there was that play in was it the Oakland game?
Yeah, he did a little rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Right, but there was a little hesitation and stutter, and then he put his head down. Last night, there was no hesitation. There was no stutter. He was dragging people into the end zone. He looked angry. And if Gronk has now turned a corner of, screw this, I'm going all out. If I get hurt, I get hurt. It's going to have an impact, and we'll see it soon. We'll see it Sunday night.
Okay, again, your thoughts all hour on the AT&T fan line, 617-779-0985. Christian and Stoughton, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Basically, I think because of Tom Brady's antics the last 2 years of yelling at young wide receivers, yelling at the offensive line. So basically, can you imagine, Mike, if you're sitting there and you're like, well, my ratings suck because Tony sucks and Mark Bertrand sucks. Eventually, they're not going to fight for you. And if you notice, that team was not fighting for Tom Brady. They fought for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm not saying, I don't want to put it out there that I'm saying Jimmy's better than Tom. I'm just saying that it felt different. They looked different. They looked like they actually wanted to play football when Jimmy was in there.
Okay, and I'm not making that leap that they want to play for. I mean, I'm not doing that thing. But they clearly don't look right. They don't look right.
See, I don't think it's that they won't play for Brady. I don't think that's it. I don't think it's gotten to that point yet. I'll tell you what I think it is. That Brady he knows these guys are trying. He just doesn't believe in their talent. And so what's he going to do? Start ripping the tuba player? How come you can't protect me? Well, maybe it's because you were carrying a tuba 4 years ago instead of playing football, right? So he is not going to blame the kid. He's not going to blame Jordan Devey for being out there. So now and this is maybe what we were talking about earlier, about him being stuck, right? The Susie Colbert comment that you played earlier, Mike. On the one hand, he wants to be a leader and be demanding. But he's looking at this kid going, come on, undrafted tuba player who is a Mormon pacifist on top of it. Really? I should have Mankins here. It's not the kid's fault. I think that's what the problem is.
There is something wrong. If you want to, I'm open to suggestions, and I'll take any conspiracy theory you want. But just look at that team and how they're carrying themselves.
Mike, they've lost the quarterback. They've lost him.
That's the answer.
I think it is. They've lost him. Look at him. He looks mentally, physically, emotionally defeated. That throw, that pick, that second pick last night, Brady quit on that throw. Since when does Brady just chuck one up there like that? That is a horse crap, garbage, Mickey Mouse, backup quarterback kind of throw. That is garbage, that throw.
Jay Cutler-esque.
Oh, was it awful? He didn't care. He just didn't care on that pass.
Scott on Cape Cod. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Tom Brady played awful last night. He couldn't throw the ball farther than 10 yards, and whenever he was thrown into a receiver on their route, he just threw the ball to where they were supposed to be rather to adjust to where they were running to. I mean, he was playing so bad, I wouldn't have been surprised if George Brett showed up and gave him a pair of Ugg boots after the game.
Okay, I don't get the George Brett thing. Should I?
Waka waka.
What does George Brett have to do with anything?
No idea.
Alan Everett. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I'm here. Listen, I called you a couple of weeks ago, and I gave you some good information. It happened to all come true.
Can you believe Al would do that to us?
I was waiting for this.
I mean, seriously, why would he do that to us?
That is such a crappy connection. It's not even funny.
Yeah, hey, Felger, I got good information for you, so I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, I called you guys a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to turn around and talk over this way. All right, so you can hear me. Can you hear me good right now, Felger?
He's never been good since he lost Parcells players.
He's too busy making sandwiches.
Al, when for the love of God, Al, are you going to go to a landline and call us with your crap?
I fixed it. I had it on speaker. I fixed it. Is that better?
A little bit. Go.
All right, I had it on speaker. What is wrong with you? Everything bothers you.
Just go, Al.
Little girl. All right, listen. I called you a few weeks ago. Told you, and this is not what I'm calling about, but because you give 9 seconds and you come back, you came back with the most moronic answer for what I said last time, but you hang up on people, and I'm going to let everyone out there know right now. If Michael Felger hangs up on me now, it's because he's afraid I'm going to make a fool of him.
Oh, just please make your point, for the love of God.
Don't come back with a bullcrap answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Why did you call?
Go.
And make yourself look like you know what you're talking about. Because I'm going to answer you now. You said to me 2 weeks ago when I said that Belichick was overrated and he's picking players and Revis ain't going to look like Revis because Rex Ryan gave him a pass rush, and this has been going on for the last 7 years. You said I went overboard. You hung up on me, and you know what your answer was? Your answer was, well, this year, Al, I'm going to hold Belichick to the fire. This is the year I'm going to do that because he's got the weapons now. Well, what's the matter? What I would have said back to you, Michael, what I'm going to tell you now. What was the last 7 years? You don't want to hold them to the fire for that? Why is this year any different? Why is this year? Now you want to. I've been telling you this for 10 years, but you're patting yourself on the back about an hour ago saying you've been saying this for 2 years. So what do you say to me now?
I say to you, Al, because
Are you a stand-up guy? Are you a stand-up guy, or are you going to hang up like a wimp? Or are you going to sit here and give me credit?
No, I just can't stand your phone. Your phone is awful. It's been awful for 15 years. It's been horrible. Why don't you go to your landline and back of your sub shop there and call us on your landline? What is your problem? That's your issue. God, the phone is horrible.
It's dreadful.
Okay, 10 years ago, why would I rip Bill Belichick 10 years ago when he's coming off of his 3rd Super Bowl championship? That would be stupid, wouldn't it?
Yes, you wouldn't rip him.
Okay, so I wouldn't rip him 10 years ago. And then you know what? When you win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, you get a couple of years grace period. That's a pretty damn good run, right?
You get a cushion.
So then in 05, 06, that sort of time frame, you go a little bit easier because the guy's obviously proven himself.
He's earned it.
Then in 07, you go undefeated. So I'm not really of the mind to rip a coach who goes undefeated for the first time in the history of the 16-game schedule.
I would say 18-1, but go ahead.
Okay, well, undefeated for a time, all right, for most of that time.
Until the Super Bowl.
Now we're in 08, 09.
Rip them.
I'd say once we have gotten here to 2009, 2010 on this program, I think we have been consistently, steadily critical of Bill Belichick and his defenses in that time. And I think that is fair, Al.
Time to rip.
I think it's fair. I've even erred on the side of giving Belichick the benefit of the doubt. I have done that. But this is the year it ends. He has been drafting on defense for years. He has first and second round picks everywhere. He was allowed to spend money on Darrelle Revis and others. If this defense sucks, then Bill, as a defensive genius, is a fraud. It's over, Al. But I'm not going to do that in 2005. That would be dumb.
See, I also don't think you can play defense the way that he likes to play it, at least early in the year, anymore. I don't think he can do it that way. Because his whole logic was built on the quarterback isn't good enough, in most cases, to get down the field and score. You're asking him to get down without penalties, incompletions, all of that, and those quarterbacks aren't good enough. But you know what? The league's different now. Alex Smith is good enough. He is good enough to complete 75, 80% of his passes against you, hit guys in stride for yards after the catch, and dump it off to Jamal Charles and his tight end, whom you can't cover, by the way, either one of them, because you can't cover backs and tight ends. And he's content with guys like Alex Smith are content to pick you apart doing that.
Can we just get Al a new phone? Or email us, for the love of God. Please, back to your phones after this. Fire Belichick, trade Brady. Fire Belichick. Fire Belichick.
Fire Belichick. Play Garoppolo.
Felger and Mazz. Felger and Mazz.
Brady drops back. Under rush on the blind side. Ball is stripped by Tamba Ali. Strip sack, Kansas City.
This will be a good test for the New England Patriots. Back home, back in prime time. Taking on an undefeated Cincinnati Bengals team. Will the Patriots rise to the occasion? Our pregame coverage starts at 5:30 on Sun Live from CBS Scenic Patriot Place. Kickoff between the Pats and Bengals is at 8:30 on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
So everybody knows that Energy Star windows keep cold air out in the winter. You save on your boiler costs with new, good replacement Energy Star windows. But did you know that they also keep cool air inside from your air conditioner during this time of year? It's true. I learned this because Right Window came out to my home years ago and installed 24 new replacement windows in my home. And I realized that summer that I'm going to be saving money in July and August, just like I'm saving money in January and February. So I highly recommend you give Right Window a call right now, where any size white double hung window is just $3.99 installed. Right Window makes replacing your windows easy. You deal with one company start to finish, and getting a quote is easier too. Just go to rightwindow.com. That's RITE, rightwindow.com, and schedule your appointment online. And during Right Window summer sale, get their best-selling double hung window. It's Energy Star certified, double pane insulated glass, clear view screen, tilt-in sash, lifetime warranty, $3.99, including the install. Here's the number, 800-649-3600. That's 800-649-3600. A better window professionally installed for the right price. That is Right Window.
Sleepy's one-day sale is tomorrow. Preview the sale today and save big on name brand mattresses. So forget the amateurs. Trust the professionals. Sleepy's, the only mattress professionals.
CBS Tonight, a new NCIS mystery goes straight to the top.
Boss, it's the president.
Then on the new hit drama NCIS New Orleans, Michael Weatherly from NCIS lets the good times roll.
Watch and learn.
A new NCIS New Orleans, CBS Tonight.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
To learn more about our programs and to donate, go to carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
What you do with your spare time is up to you.
Nice.
Me? I use it to work on my swing.
Free checking with no minimum balance and no monthly fees is reason enough to do your banking with Rockland Federal Credit Union. But with free mobile banking and mobile check deposit, you can bank from anywhere, giving you more spare time. Rockland Federal Credit Union. Free checking, free mobile banking, more time. Rockland Federal Credit Union. Learn more at rfcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Excess funds by MSIC.
If you can't sleep at night, how can you dream of retirement? Financial worries are normal, but a solid plan will put them to rest. At TIAA CREF, we can show you how to get to retirement and through every day after. Now, doesn't that sound like a dream come true? Visit TIAA.org. TIAA CREF Individual and Institutional Services, LLC. Investing is subject to market and other risk factors.
My name is Harlan Houghton. I was working on a construction site, and one day I felt a crack in my leg. When I had the x-ray, things were taking a long time. They sent me into like this little room, and the doctor came in and he told me, you have a lesion on your left femur, and it's a possibility of it being cancerous. It was like, boom, I completely broke down, and I was scared that I was gonna die. When I was going through chemotherapy treatment, everything was a struggle. But if you get too far into that feeling of wanting to give up, you're gonna give up. My doctor told me I'll get as far as I'm willing to push myself. I'm trying not to put a ceiling on where I'll end up. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm now getting married. I'm ready to start my life with somebody else and start a family. I'm not defined by cancer. I'm defined by being a survivor.
We are Blue Cross Blue Shield of Harlan, of Determination, of Massachusetts. For more information, visit us at bluecrossma.com and find out what we can be of you.
Donate your vehicle to wheelsforwishes.org, benefiting Make-A-Wish. Accepts all vehicles, free pickups, and fully tax deductible.
Wheelsforwishes.org benefits the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Introducing yourplanforthefuture.org, where the teens of Massachusetts plan for what's next, college or a career. Learn more at yourplanforthefuture.org.
Radio.com. Listen to the Sports Hub on your smartphone. Download the Radio.com app at the iTunes and Google Play stores. Now, here's the 98.5 Sports Hub headlines.
Bill Belichick's Patriots will now have a short week to prepare for the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday night in Foxborough.
We got to have mental toughness. We're going to have a good week in a short amount of time. And, Cincinnati had a week off, so I'm sure they'll be ready to go. And we're going to have to really work hard and try to make up for that ground.
Other NFL news today, the Raiders have named Tony Sparano as the team's interim head coach after Dennis Allen was fired yesterday after an 0-4 start. Baseball's postseason, it gets underway tonight. The first wild card game between Oakland and Kansas City, the pitching matchup. John Lester for the A's against James Shields for the Royals. First pitch at 8:07. The Bruins play a preseason game against the Islanders tonight at TD Garden. You can hear that game right here on the Sports Hub at 7 p.m. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Master Clean and Service Master Restore. Because at Service Master, the experience matters. I'm Mark Bertrand on Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. More headlines in 20 minutes.
Straightforward.
But this is that?
No holds barred.
It's wonderful chemistry, and all these guys are so great.
Sports talk.
Red. We don't like the red. Red. I don't like the red. Red. No. Red lettering. Blue.
Felger and Mazz, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
To me, I don't remember ever, and I haven't seen every game, so I'm sure someone will say, I don't remember Tom Brady ever coming out. And if Tom Brady ever did come out, it was because I'm hurt, Nick, I need a break. But to come out after a pick six in a situation like this on Monday night, to actually take the seat, I know Tom Brady didn't choose that. There's no way Tom Brady had a part of that. And if he didn't have a say in that, and he didn't tell him, look, I made a mess, I'm going to go clean it up for at least another series, I don't, to me, something's up with that.
Shock. Three of us on the bus watching it, blown away that happened. Blown away there wasn't a confrontation on the sideline, probably because Tom Brady has too much respect for this organization.
I don't know. If you're going to go at Tom Brady about some of these fundamental issues,
let's explain
he
why
would have it out.
Because the statement you're making is, okay, this wasn't very good, but you're the main blame. You go sit down.
That's what I'm saying.
You go sit down because you threw an interception and all this other stuff because Gronk's still on the field. Edelman's still on the field.
Everybody else is out there.
The left tackle's still on the field. The running back's still on the field.
If he's hurt, we'll find out that one thing.
Deal.
Nick, that's fine.
Besides his feelings being hurt, yeah.
But if he was not hurt, he would never come out And if he was forced to come out and actually didn't have a choice in that, that's a whole new place that I don't know that Tom Brady's ever been.
That's the law firm of Dilfer and Young that Tom Brady has apparently put on retainer. State his case on national TV. Those two, again. Want to know how Tom Brady's feeling, folks? Tape the game, pre-game, post-game. Go listen to Young and Dilfer. They gave it to you pretty much to a T. When he came out, they expected a confrontation on the sidelines. And that one little piece there where Steve Young, I thought it sort of gave it away, where, he says, if you want to go have a conversation with Brady on these fundamental issues, he'll go. Trust me, he'll go. It's like Steve Young's already had these conversations with Brady, knows how pent up he is about him, that if anyone just touches a nerve with Brady, oh yeah, he'll go. He'll have that confrontation on these issues. Just sort of, it was, I thought, borderline amazing what I heard last night.
Look, how does that message typically get delivered? Would McDaniels go over to Brady and say, hey, we're making a swap here, just chill out, we don't want you to get killed? Is that how it would go?
I don't know. I would love to see the sideline shot of when Brady got the news. We played before. Why do you ask?
Just curious. I mean, because again, there was no real, description or any sort of photo or video of it. Nothing. And so I'm curious as to how that all went down. Brady was asked about it after the game, and all he said was, well, it wasn't my choice, right?
I don't even think he said that. I think he said they told me I was out, and then he just stopped talking. Yeah, I don't even think he said that.
I mean, maybe that's what I inferred from it. But the point was that, they told me, not the other way around.
Do you guys think Brady was benched? Donovan McNabb said it to open up the hour. There's been headlines on, various websites or whatever. It was treated like Brady was benched. Would you describe it as that?
I would say he was pulled out of the game for his safety. That's how I would say it. But you can call it bench, you can call it whatever you want. It wasn't working, they took him out.
I don't think it was strictly that. I don't think it was strictly the fact that it was late in the game and that it was for his safety and didn't want him out there, because I think it came after a play in which he made another really bad mistake. He hadn't played well all night, and there was no point to him being in the game at that point in the game. There was no point to it. So I would be in favor of pulling him out anyway, but I think there was something to it. Like, okay, we're not going to continue doing this. Or if you're not into this, we're putting you on the bench. There's no point in this. It's not something they typically do. They've had losses before. They've had bad losses. Did they ever pull Brady out of a game?
The only one that stands out was that debacle in New Orleans in 2009, which is where we got the NFL Films clip of Brady turning to Belichick and saying, Belichick turning to Brady and saying, I can't get these guys to play the way I want. The reason they had that sideline conversation is because Brady was out, and I think Hoyer was in at that time.
Oh, he was pulled in that game.
I believe he was, yes.
You know what? I'll double check that. I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure he was pulled in that game. But you know what? That's another similarity. To me, this team right now feels like 2009, the only year Bill let it get away from him, where he lost the locker room and the team just sort of lost its way and was not the Patriots. The Patriots have been pretty recognizable to us over the last dozen years. There was one year where they weren't, and that was 2009, where they lost their focus and their character and all that stuff. It was a bad year. This is what this feels like. This feels like that year with that effort last night and the way they played, on both sides of the ball. It's just hard not to look at that team and say, there's something wrong there. And that's the way we felt in 2009, and that's the way I feel now. And I think it would be fitting that the first time Brady got pulled in that kind of situation was since 2009.
A little bit different, though. Hoyer came into that game on the very last series of the game with under 2 minutes to play. So coming in after the 2-minute warning and being pulled with, 10 and change to go in the game are two different situations. They're not the same thing, at least in my mind.
It felt, consider the differences. In 2009...
Actually, check that. He was in there the series before, too, so it was like 5 minutes to go.
All right, but in 2009, what happens? Brady goes to Belichick, and they stand together on the sidelines. Let's talk about this. Let's work this, right? Remember the conversation?
Right.
It sure did. I just can't get this team to play the way we need to play. I just can't do it. It's so frustrating.
We do it in spurts. You just don't do it for 4 quarters.
No. And the tougher it gets, the less likely we are to do it.
Okay, so that's 2009 where Brady's there consulting.
Right.
They're together.
No, and I remember the shot. Brady had sort of his arms folded, and I remember it.
Where was Brady last night?
He was sitting on the bench by himself sulking. Yeah, look, I told you. I think that there is sort of something underlying it with Brady and his overall contentment with the organization, Mike. And I think that this has been ongoing. You know, they're cutting his pay. They're bringing in his replacement. They're giving him less to work with. How could he possibly be happy? Really? How could he possibly be happy? Knowing everything we know about the guy, how he competes, how he fights. You know, again, he's so emotional about the competitive part of it that he's, you know, basically showing up receivers and teammates on the field to some degree, which is sort of the bad that comes with the good. And he's not going to be upset when they completely hang him out to dry like this.
I think he obviously is upset. Here's Joe in Seabrook. What do you think, Joe?
Of course he's upset, and he has every right to be. Okay, he loses Welker, and then oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Mankins, and then what? He gets a coach, offensive line coach that gets fired from everywhere he goes on suck teams, which is sad, by the way. And a tuba player. What is this? Of course he's pissed. And he's getting killed out there. What do you think? He's happy?
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is that Dilfer and Young, the law firm of Dilfer and Young, was on it pregame, which really tells you something. It wasn't just venting postgame and teeing off. It was Brady came into this game with this mindset.
See, and this to me tells me how little faith he has really in the talent of these players, Mike. Like, I wonder deep down what he really thinks about Solder. Like, what does he think about Nate Solder? Does he think Nate Solder's okay, that he's good, or that he stinks? Like, I would love to know what Brady thinks about that. And some of this goes back to what Mike Reese had an item in one of his blogs in the last, 12 hours or whatever, about how Belichick said on the pregame show that he thought the team made good progress and they made great strides. And then they go out and play like that? So if Belichick is feeling that going into the game, but Brady is on the field telling Young and telling Dilfer that our offensive line sucks and I got no receivers, well, then he doesn't believe anything that happened during the week leading up to the game. Or Belichick's lying.
You just wonder if even in 2009, as bad as it was, at least the coach and the quarterback were on the same page. Does that exist right now? Back to that thing. Gerard in Maine. Go ahead, Gerard. Again, the Maine thing, it's just staggering how Maine is just never ready to go. Maine.
They just move at a different speed up there.
Here's Ron in South Carolina. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, I'm ready to go. I just want to vent this out, guys. First off, I think Brady is too classy to show it on the sideline. I think Belichick's mentality is the reason of the fall of the Patriots right now. If Belichick is convinced crap that he could shop at the dollar store and produce a winning football team. This stuff happened back in week 1. Watch the Miami game. Brady got put on his tail about 17 times. Not one time did an offensive lineman stick his hand to help him up. The block that he set for Vereen in Minnesota. Vereen didn't even give him a slight of the eye. Not a thanks, not a hey. Hell of a job over there. This is going back. Brady knew this was happening. He said something internally. Belichick thinks he's a god, okay? Brady has got it. He still has it. He's not Brady from 2007. We all know that. But do you know who's anchoring the defense in Arizona right now?
Yes, Tommy Kelly. With a monster quote yesterday on the Patriots. You were nodding your head to this as this guy was going on.
Because we had a caller earlier, and I think you were talking to Jimmy in the talkback, so I'm not sure you had the end of the call, where he said, Brady's ticked off. They've done this with the payroll and everything. And you know what? Belichick's probably ticked off, too, because they put clamps on him. And I don't think Belichick is. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that the whole approach appeals to Belichick's ego. It allows him to go get the Jordan Devies of the world and plug them in and say, see, I turned that guy into a player and he cost us nothing. That's me. That is me. And so I think Belichick gets off on it, on the fact that there's a budget. And I'll win anyway because I'm a better coach than everybody else.
It adds to the challenge.
Absolutely it does. It adds to the challenge. Whereas Brady, because he's a player, and again, this is sort of a conflict Belichick has had, Mike, with lots of players who have come through there. Richard Seymour is at the talent of the system, right? Richard Seymour said, hey, let's not make too much of the coach here because we're the ones out here that are actually making the plays. That's basically what was at the core of that, among other things. And there are other players who've come through there that believe that. Maybe that is now dawning on Brady.
And the Tommy Kelly quote, former defensive tackle, would it look really good on this team right now? He asked for his release in training camp once he realized he was going to be used in a rotation and they wouldn't be able to hit playing time incentives that the team had asked him to take going into this year. So he asked to be released, and he ended up in Arizona, and he's part of a real good Arizona team right now.
This is an unbelievable comment.
This is what Tommy Kelly told the Arizona Cardinals team website yesterday about New England. He said, quote, "I saw the situation, and I realized I probably wouldn't be there. I could not take busting my tail every day getting to a game and them taking me out of the game for someone who I know isn't better than me because he's a cheaper option. Are we worried about money here, or are we worried about winning?" Quote, paragraph. Again, pretty, another bomb.
Yeah, that is damning testimony is what that is. That's a guy saying, I'm better than anything they had, and they let me go because they had to pay me a few extra bucks, and they didn't want to do it. So you know what? Keep collecting contracts. Other teams will collect players. Really, that's what this comes down to. How can you look at it any other way when the Chiefs kept running left last night and running over Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins? Right? And again, I like Jones, okay? Collins, everyone made a big deal out of. But the more you watch him play, he's getting manhandled.
He can't stop the run.
He can't stand up. He can cover, but he can't stand up to the physicality on that side. He can't.
We have Jim Rome here on, look, it could be worse. We could be the Raiders.
Well, sure.
And that's what Romey wants to talk about here. I'm sorry, it's not Romey, it's Tom Tolbert. Even better. Suck on this a little bit.
Now, here's the CBS Sports Minute on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
I'm Tom Tolbert with the CBS Sports Minute. The Oakland Raiders have fired head coach Dennis Allen, or, as I like to say, they paroled Dennis Allen. It's the 7th coach they paroled since 2003. In fact, since the last time they went to the Super Bowl in 2002, this team is 53-111 to date. Yarr. How many All-Pro selections have the Raiders had since 2003? 2. And one of them was a punter, Shane Leckler. The other, Nnamdi Asomugha. First-round picks, they swing and miss more than Adam Dunn. DJ Hayden most recently, Rolando McClain, Darius Haywood-Bay, Fabian Washington, and Jamarcus Russell. Yarr. At least they have a cool song. Autumn Wind is a Raider kicks you-know-what. Although, what would be a more appropriate song for this team? How about Talking Heads? Same as it ever was, same as it ever was. I'm Tom Tolbert.